has Mass in his table, commemorating the first Catholic Mass on June 13, 1691. And the island it sits on is actually Marriage Island. There's over 400 weddings a year here. Many people believe that the cypress tree make it in the shape of a heart. So if you get married there, they believe it'll make your marriage go up. In fact, here on the boat, I have a former coworker, and she was married there 3 times. So, times the time for her. We're going to shoot into the sun really quickly, so I'm going to try not to be too long in the sun there. But coming up to the top left, after we come out of this curve, there's a building here that has the U.S. flag at the top. It's an octagon-shaped building, which is called the Tower Life Building, which opened in 1929. And at that time, it was actually the first skyscraper on the west of the Mississippi at 30 stories tall. It is a neo-Gothic architect style, so there is gargoyles at the top of this building, which used to work as an aqueduct system. When it rained, rainwater went to opening in the back and then it poured out of its mouth. Went from one level to the next, and then to the last. Then if you look right above the pink flowers on the bottom, there's faces of a man and a woman. Those are kind of grotesque faces. The builders are superstitious. They thought these faces would help scare off the bad luck, mean they can make lots of money and be very successful. I say they jinxed themselves. They invested a little over $1 million into this building just for it to wind up sitting here empty because of the stock market crash when they completed it. So about 2 or 3 years, people could not afford to rent a space or lease a space here, so it sat here empty until they became desperate and sold it off to the city. The city bought this $1 million project for $30,000 when it was consolidated. So they did lose quite a bit on it. It is in a 1980s movie called Cloak and Dagger with the little boy who plays Elliot and Lee T. So it's only 90 minutes. Now in front of us, that big red building, that is the Bexar County Courthouse. It is pronounced Bear, not Bexar. I know they expose people off sometimes. But it's actually a Native American word that means friendship. So Bear means friendship. And that's a limestone building, but the reason why it's red is they covered it in sandstone, actually red rock. Alright guys, we're gonna go into the deepest part of the whole entire city right now. We're gonna go into the flood bypass channel. We're going out through a doorway, so it doesn't matter which side of the boat you look at, but you'll see metal plating. And that's the hinges. So the door's gonna pop up from below us, like a drawbridge on a castle, or that tailgate of a truck whenever you pick it up to close it. So this is gonna close off luggage number 4, but the river flows from north to south, southbound is to the left of us. We're not gonna head left just because I'm pretty sure none of you guys have plans of going out over the face of the earth, because that is an automatic 17-foot drop in the river. So we're at the top of that, and the rest of the river's at the bottom there. So that means this is all 17 feet deep right now at this moment. It's a balancing act. We could drop that gate, pick it back up 6 inches, 8 feet, 10 feet if we want to make sure when a thunderstorm hits our city, we won't flood out by dropping this river level and draining it out a little bit. And we built this in 1926 because in 1921 we put it out. 20% chance of rain, but the water rose about 7 to 12 feet above us. Over 100 people died and went missing as a result of that 1921 flood. So the Corps of Engineers came in after a few years of back and forth bickering on how to save our city without compromising our river industry. Yeah, so on the left we got our own version of the locks of love. So the whole idea is you get a lock with a key. So once you've kind of locked that key, you throw your key into the river. And because you're not supposed to come back, right, and get your lock off, you're in love with that person forever. But if you notice, quite a bit of those locks are actually combination locks. Yeah, our city has the...
I think this lady has a thing against you.
So I should choose 56 June.
Highest rate of divorce, is that what you said? The highest rate of divorce.
So right where these railings are at, up the stairs, which might be a little bit difficult to see, this is Main Plaza. Main Plaza was officially established in 1731 by the Spanish. So we have the San Fernando Cathedral. If you come back here tonight at 9, 9:30, and 10 p.m., there's a free 24-minute video that projects onto the wall. It's called Saga. And so city's history in chronological order. It took this artist about 8 months to learn everything he could about our city to create that piece of art for us. Now, because the San Antonio River is a real natural river, the river does start 4 miles north of us at the University of Incarnate Word. So think of where the zoo is at. A spring is being fed up by the Edwards Aquifer. It heads down southbound, wraps throughout the city, and continues another 248 miles southeast of here. Because the San Antonio River turns into the Guadalupe River. The Guadalupe empties out into the Bay of San Antonio, which goes out to Gulf of Mexico. I guess we got one of the oldest trees on the Riverwalk. It's right there in the front left of us here. So this tree actually dates back to the 1600s. The reason why they know this is that they drilled into the center of the tree and took a core sample and they tested it out. They originally thought it's from the 1800s because there's an urban legend attached to this tree. The urban legend is it calls it a sniper tree, saying a Mexican sniper hung around this tree shooting any Texans as they crossed the river going towards their missions. Alright, and above us is floodgate number 3. 3-tunnel door that takes 15 minutes to drop and to head all the way back up again. So that works with that other floodgate we drove over. Something really neat, look on the right of us, see where those dinner tables are at? There's actually a fig tree that grows out of the walls of the restaurant. And there's kind of different stories that go back and forth. Some drivers say it's a prank that literally grew out of hand. Others say during that flood in 1921, the sea planted itself in that wall. And we got the Otis Bar next to them on the right side, which is the Esquire Tavern, opening in 1933. Apparently, they say they opened 5 minutes after Prohibition, with a fully stocked bar already. So that's the Esquire. They do claim to have the longest wooden bar in Texas at 100 feet long. Now before we head underneath St. Mary Street, we do have this hotel to the left of us, which did flood out in 1921. It's their city public services building at that time. Water rose inside to the top of those first 4 windows, which is above where the street level here in front of us is at. They added the other 4th floor 6 years after they put it.
No. No, we don't need
We have officially come around full circle, but the last thing I'll leave you with is where you bought your tickets at, which is on the right side. Look on the street level, there's an Aztec goddess head here for the Aztec Theater, which opened in 1926 as one of 2 silent themed theaters in the state of Texas. This is now the last one in Texas because the one in El Paso was completely demolished. This is our last one, but it's still standing. It's actually a House of Blues location now. So we get rock bands, hip hop groups. I know next month we'll get a burlesque show here also.